Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a true honor. A brief discussion. I'm going to the formalities. It's a real honor. Father Devrin reached out to me. He even just said he wanted to help out, assist the prep in some capacity. I immediately said yes. I met him a couple of days afterwards. I didn't realize it was going to turn into a homework assignment, but it's all the same. It's the prep's probably one of the biggest parts of my life, most influential parts of my life. When you think about it, it's probably family, faith, Fordham Prep, and possibly the fire department. Then after that, for me in my life. So I wish you all the best of luck in your endeavors going forward, and just like to spend a couple of times, put a couple of words down on paper and share those with you. Okay. Good morning, class of 2015. I want to thank you for allowing me to take part in this transitioning period in your lives as you move forward from students of the prep and move into the proud ranks of prep alumni. I would like to welcome our alumni table hosts whose support and presence here make this event possible. You are wonderful role models to our newly minted young alumni, exemplifying the spirit of giving back. To Father Devron, Mr. Gomprecht, the Board of Directors, the faculty and staff of the prep, I not only want to thank you for the invitation to speak here, but I also want to take this opportunity to show you express my adoration and respect for your selflessness, your dedication in keeping the Jesuit character and spirit of the prep alive. By assisting these young men in their transition into disciples of Ignatius, just as I was afforded the same opportunity 30 years ago to do the same. I've never forgotten the devotion of the prep faculty. I fondly reflect back on the teachers like Ferd Beck. Ferd's still teaching at the prep? Yeah. 30 years. And I just taught many years before that. I finally reflect back on the devotion of the faculty of prep. Teachers like Ferd Beck, who offered much more than just an education in religious studies. I have memories of being chauffeured around by Beck in his Volkswagen bus up and down I-95 in Connecticut, looking for a college campus that best suited my furthering of my education. Then when I found the college of my choice, it was Beck again who offered guidance on how to best address the application process. Countless hours were spent after school at the prep and also at his residence on Post Road, writing essays that would best differentiate myself from thousands of other high school seniors vying for the same opportunities. All the hard work paid off. I was accepted into Connecticut College on a scholarship. At some point during the middle of my first semester at Conn College, I had the pleasure of meeting the Dean of Admissions. She immediately recognized me for my uniquely crafted essay I had written on valuable life lessons learned while shoveling elephant manure during a summer job at the Bronx Zoo. Beck always had a flair for making something sound exciting and interesting. True story, got me into Connecticut College. Then there was Father Charlie Sullivan, who attempted to teach me the relevance of the derivatives of sine and cosine and the need to know how to graph these derivatives. I can honestly say in 30 years since leaving the prep, I have not found one opportunity to apply these principles of calculus. However, this is not the reason I value Father Sullivan as a faculty member and now also as a dear friend. I am forever in debt to him for his dedication to the basketball program here at the prep. Over the course of 3 years of playing under Father Sullivan, I learned many lessons of sportsmanship and learning to put the needs of common goals ahead of private ones. Under Father Sullivan, my passion for basketball matured, and I was not only able to continue and compete on the college level, but I was able to travel to Ireland as a junior abroad, and I was able to start up many programs in the west of Ireland where basketball had yet to be introduced, many of which programs still survive today. It is because of the passions of people like Ferd Beck, Charlie Sullivan, and all the other members of the faculty here at Fordham Prep, I'm very thankful of your dedication. To the class of 2015, I'd like to take the next few minutes to tell you of another prep alumnus who inspired me and was a role model and a hero to me. He was 4 years my junior and graduated in the class of 1988. I did not have to travel far to find him. He was my younger brother, Patrick. We grew up in an Irish Catholic family where importance of education, faith, and community was stressed on a daily basis. When it came time to choose high schools that best reflected these beliefs, Patrick chose the Jesuit education offered at Fordham Prep, just as I had done 4 years prior, and his twin brother Peter did also. After the prep, Patrick dedicated a career to the Yonkers Fire Department. It was a decision that aligned perfectly with the things he loved in life, taking care of others and being part of a big family. Then, drawing from the lessons he learned at the prep of trying to live to the best of one's ability and talent, Patrick tested himself by investing in the hospitality industry. The restaurant business is an unforgiving field that boasts a 75% failure rate, but Pat was fearless and confident. Patrick's hard work and commitment paid off, and he beat the odds, opening 5 successful restaurants and event spaces in Manhattan, 1 in Yonkers, and 1 under construction. Patrick took pride in seeing potential what others saw none. He was also proud of being involved in every design and construction aspect of each place. With the success of his restaurants, Pat was able to provide a comfortable life for his wife Tara and his daughters Isabella and Charlotte. The restaurants also allowed him to offer family and friends lucrative investment opportunities in the ventures that he had started, and he employed hundreds of people along the way. Between his firefighting career and his success in business ventures, all before the age of 39, Patrick had a lot to be proud of. On the morning of October 2nd, 2009, Patrick responded to the report of a fire in a house on Waverly Place in Yonkers. The resident was shared by 5 separate families, and the report came in there was possibly 17 people trapped as a result of the fire. When Patrick arrived with other members of the Yonkers Fire Department, they assisted in the removal of a handful of residents unable to exit the house. With reports of a few residents still unaccounted for, Patrick and 2 other members of the fire department went to the floor above the fire to conduct a search. Because 2 fires had been intentionally set in the structure, conditions changed rapidly, forcing Patrick and 2 other firefighters searching the floor above to jump out the window 3 stories below. One of the firefighters received serious injuries, preventing him from returning to work for an extended period of time. The other firefighter received career-ending injuries, and Patrick's injuries proved to be fatal. In the Bible, John 15, verse 13, it states, "There is no greater love than to lay down your life for another." When learning of the circumstances surrounding Patrick's death, I realized Patrick died the way he lived, always helping others. To Patrick's friends and family, he was more than just a successful businessman and a heroic firefighter. He was a selfless benefactor. He was blessed with a generous nature and a kindness towards others. We remember his deep involvement with the Ronald McDonald House. For his 16 years in the fire department, as Father Deveron stated, he was involved in the Central Park Run, where they took the kids with cancer from Ronald McDonald House and set up a short run on the Upper East Side. And many times the pictures that we have in the house is Patrick carrying one of the kids across the finish line. Not satisfied with his involvement in the McDonald House, himself and his other Yonkers firefighters started other traditions there. One of the traditions was they got a list of each child who was in the McDonald House around Christmas time, and they had a personal gift, not just a generic gift, a gift that was specifically for that child. And then the week of Christmas, the Yonkers firefighters would go down to the Ronald McDonald House, something I participated in, very moving, and give the gifts to them. During the days immediately following Patrick's death, thousands of people came to show their respect at his wake and funeral. It was during this time that the true depth and breadth of Patrick's quiet giving was brought to my attention. I heard countless stories detailing his kindness. One such story was from a woman who lived in Yonkers that recalled while dealing with the illness of a family member, the Yonkers Fire Department would routinely drop off prepared food to help them during their difficult time. She told me about the times that Patrick would come by and drop off food. He would leave the containers of food on the kitchen table and always an envelope of cash on top. Another story was from a staff member of one of his restaurants who remembers Patrick seeing the inside of his apartment for the very first time and asking him why there was no furniture in the apartment and he only had a couple of mattresses on the floor. The Mexican porter told Patrick that all his money went back to his family in Mexico. He said that his family in Mexico needed the money more than he needed furniture. He said the following day, Patrick purchased a bedroom set and a living room set and had it delivered to the apartment. One of the most touching stories came from a nurse at St. Joseph's Hospital. She told me about she was working the date that Patrick was brought in on October 2nd, and when he was wheeled into the emergency room, she recognized him immediately. She remembered him as being one of the Yonkers firefighters who responded to an apartment fire she had 3 years prior. She remembers speaking to the firefighters the night of the fire, telling them that she was a nurse at St. Joseph's Hospital and she was devastated with the loss. She remembers telling the firefighters that she did not know where she was going to turn to next. She said the following day, Patrick, with 2 other firefighters, returned back to her apartment, helped her secure the apartment, and helped her bag up what few remaining undamaged personal items she had left, and helped her move to a new apartment. She said before they left, they all reached into their pockets and took whatever cash they had out and left it on the table to help her get by. Just like Patrick's spirit of giving, the class of 1987 decided to launch an endowment in the memory of their 7 deceased classmates. They chose to name the fund after Patrick, honoring Patrick's life as a man for others. The fund is intended to be a perpetual endowment for need-based financial aid to assist young men from diverse socioeconomic backgrounds. It is meant to assist in paying their tuition so they too may benefit from the unique educational experience that is Fordham Prep. To date, there has been over 250 plus contributors to this fund, totaling $1.5 million from the classes of 1987, 1988, and 1989. That equates to over 250 individual decisions to invest in the future generations of Fordham Prep students and keep the Ignatius principle of service to others alive. When hearing about the scholarship, my parents reflected back on the time when their 3 sons were applying to Fordham Prep. If it were not for financial aid, the opportunity to send their sons to the prep may never have become a reality. They were thankful for the aid they received so many years ago and are equally thankful to know others will receive the same type of assistance in monies raised in Patrick's name. Again, I thank you for allowing me to take part in this very special day. My purpose here is not just to tell you stories about my brother's life. Instead, it's to tell you stories of somebody who was very much just like you. Someone who, when was an 8th grader, decided to attend a prep. Someone who embraced the Jesuit principles while here at the prep, and after graduating from the prep, he applied these newly learned principles and went on to do extraordinary things. My wish to you is the same wish I have for my son Regan, who will hopefully be in the class of 2025, and my other son Patrick will hopefully graduate the prep in May of 2030. And that wish is that you have a very successful college experience and that you have a successful career afterwards. I believe your true measure of success will be your ability to have others share in that success and your generosity in giving back so that others may experience the same opportunities that we have here at the prep. In closing, I'd like to make a toast. Hopefully one day, 4 years from now, we can have this toast with a pint of Guinness at the Jolly Tinker or one of Patrick's establishments. But for today, a glass of water will have to do. I would just like to say, God bless Patty Joyce, God bless Fordham Prep, and God bless the class of 2015.